What is up, my Little Deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the UBL Season 6 Week 3 battle when I go up against IrishEmerald and his team, the Wexford Wailords. And he is someone that I was actually really looking forward to and hoping to play in this season once I learned the fact that he's making his return to YouTube and Draft League as a whole, and obviously for UBL. This is his main league that he's been part of. Previously he was like in season 1 and 2, and during the season 3, I believe, if I remember right, he had to drop off from it, which is kind of unfortunate because that was the season I got into the league, so we never really got the chance to go up against each other in Draft League format before. But now that he has returned to YouTube and Draft League as a whole, we get to play him here in week 3, and he's been pretty vocal about his return and about like how he's gonna be beating me, but that's all his kind of like big talk that he likes to have, and kind of like as his part of a humor. But hopefully he doesn't get to back those words up from the result of this week. That's our end goal here, that we don't give him bragging rights, because my god, giving IrishEmerald bragging rights over you, that must be terrible, man. Hopefully we don't give him that opportunity after this battle, but it's gonna be a tough ride because his roster is pretty threatening versus me. Mainly his offense, what I look at. And the defensive modes, I do have proper ways to break with this team of 6, which we're gonna be going very briefly. I try to be very short and sweet with this one, because I feel like people don't really watch these part of the videos too much, and they rather see the battle in itself. So we're gonna be going this very briefly. So first one is gonna be Landersteria with Choice Scarf as a form of speed control. The moveset is pretty simple and straightforward what it's there for, and this is there to form me a speed control because I'm not gonna be bringing Talonflame into this match. So that's basically the Landers. Then we're gonna be having a mixed defensive Vikavolt with Volt Split, Spark Blast, Mudshot and Roost. Very simple set, there to just pivot around certain things that he can take hits well from, and Mudshot is there to hit the Nidoking and Coco, which otherwise can resist my dual stab. And now we have Volt Switch over these shots compared to last week, because I valued the momentum to get my certain other members of the team in for freely versus his battery stuff. And then we're gonna be having a Assault Vest Slowbro. This is there mainly for the Nidoking with Scalp, Psychic, Body Press and Future Sight. Future Sight is the last addition which Aquarius mentioned to me that would be pretty nice to have over the coverage moves that I was depending from, and this can come in handy to keep something like Nidoking in bay once I have it up, and assuming that I force him out doing the battle in itself. And once I have this up in the air, he will be less likely to be able to bring the Nidoking in for free, and then I can blow it back if he does on that specific turn. Then we're gonna be having specially defensive Resistive with Seismic Toss, Stealth Rocks, Toxic Protect, just to be a special wall as long as I can keep it around in itself versus the Hydreigon and Coco. And I plan to use it versus my Melodic as well if I have any reasons to think it's gonna be going for a Toxic, so my Slowbro doesn't get Toxic in itself if I can help myself, because I might need it for the Nidoking instead, and I don't want to be worn down too much by it. So that's basically the Resistil. Then we're gonna be having a Lumberry dual stab and sword dance synthesis VIRIZION, which is pretty good breaker versus him if I do expect his Walkrow to come, which is between Bronzo, Milotic and the last member is up in the air what it's gonna be. But VIRIZION is their very important member that can really tear apart his core, and his offense doesn't really want to check me too easily, other than like a Choice Scarf down Manita like Coco. Dancing Gleam bounces off for me, Hydreigons moves bounce for me if it's Scarf. Nidoking I can outpace and kill with Leaf Blade, so the matchup is pretty nice for it. There is a Scyther over there, but I'm not necessarily expecting to come in this first game when we are playing. Maybe it does come for a rematch if this thing does a lot of work, but for the first matchup I don't really expect it to coming in itself. And then the last member of the team is going to be the Crit Drapion set that I utilized week 1, but instead of sweeping with it, which didn't really go in our way in week 1, I'm using it as a secondary way of breaking through his team, and more so there to take advantage of the Bronzo, which I do expect to come for my Porygon C, which unfortunately still has to sit on the bench. I really wanted to bring Pete for this week and make its debut, but unfortunately it has to wait for its debut a little bit longer, and we're gonna be running the Scope Lens Crit set with Night Slash, Cross Poison, Earthquake and Sword Dance. This set can actually OHKO the Milotic barring a Flame Mob on it, or Marvel Scale being activated by any status, once I'm at +2 and I get the crit with Night Slash or Cross Poison. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully I get that in this battle. and get the opportunity to do so, because then I can have a little bragging rights with Drapion that it's been able to OKO a Corviknight and Milotic during this season thus far, which is pretty significant and something you wouldn't be expecting this month to be able to do. But this set is pretty good when you can execute it properly. So that's gonna be the team of 6, and now let's go and see how this battle is turning out. Alright, here we are with the battle with IrishEmerald, and let's see what he decides to bring. I have a pretty good idea what 5 he brings. The 6th one will be the one that is gonna be a little bit off on the air. At least that's what I feel like. So I would expect to see like... Okay, a little bit different. He brought the Darmanitan as well. So a little bit more offensive looking team to me. I think I'll stick with the... Okay, that's probably then AV Hitmontop and Footstep Milotic. That's how I'm kind of viewing his team. The Darmanitan I have to watch out for if it's Choice Scarf or not. But yeah, I'm gonna lead with my Scarf Landorus. Because of the chance he leads with the Darmanitan, I would like to get the Intimidate off. Okay. This is a scary team to go up against, so we have to be very careful with this. This means that melee I have to get rid of the Milotic with my VIRIZION or Drapion, and I can pretty much go from there. I don't have the Bronzong, therefore from his point of view, he doesn't have the Bronzong for my Drapion to get advantage or take advantage with. So it's a little bit, it's probably the most expendable what I can tell right now, that I can use it a little bit more aggressively to pivot around things, or if I have to sack something. But good luck and have fun to IrishEmerald. Let's see how this is gonna be going. It's a little bit this I got pretty much like 5 right out of the... I wasn't sure if the Darmanitan would come or not, because I have a Slowbro and Gudra, which both can deal with it relatively well, but we'll see. He leads out with the Nidoking, okay. So this could be a Choice Scarf or a Shoka Nidoking. Perhaps even a... Well, Blyfo would be the one that I'm most scared of. But at this point I think I'm best off to U-turn to Scout. He could also be Focus Sash as a potential lead, but either way I'll just U-turn here. If he stays in, he's clicking Ice Beam for sure, and I can tell that if it's Sugar Berry, or if he is, or if he's gonna be Choice Scarf in itself. But I get the U-turn off, get a decent chip on it, and I'll just go straight into my Slowbro on this. See how much you do. I expect the Ice Beam to come out. Yep. So at full health, that did... What is that, like 14 damage? Like 14 HP, is that even... Yeah, so that's definitely timid. So here I'm thinking he would go into Milotic, so part of me wants to go into my either VIRIZION or the... I could also pull up a Future Sight here. But I think I'm good off to double into my Vikavolt. I expect him to swap into Milotic here. Hydra the Hydreigon, okay. Okay. So I would have been better off if I would double into VIRIZION there. But now I'm curious to see if he's gonna be... I'll go to Resist still. We'll see if he has a fire move or not. He does Hard Withdraw, so he's not U-turn on it. DK, which is the Darmanitan. Okay. That's interesting that he hard brought this thing in. But this makes me think that this is his Scout first, so I'm gonna go for the Protect to Scout. Let's see. Taunt. Okay, so he's probably like heavy duty boots on this. But now that I know the Nidoking is not Life Orb, it means that my Slowbro can pretty well... He could still be Life Orb as well on this, like Life Orb Shield Force, but I expect it to be boots now. Maybe he doesn't have a Scout. Like, the Nidoking is the only Scoufer that I now can tell that he has. He has Toxic on this, okay, he's Taunt Toxic with this. Which is fine by me. I'll go for the Body Press on the Hydra. Because that was his initial swap last time around. And hopefully I get some good damage off on it. He does withdraw. There comes the Hydra, I get a Body Press off on it. This should do like 40%. So this will keep him not to go for this too often. Okay, that did a little bit more, which is nice. And now I'll just go into my Resisteel right away, and hopefully I can get up my rocks. But that damage on Hydra is really nice, because that's basically in a range of U-turn for my Landorus. And that's kind of what I just needed for. Just get up that Body Press. But we are getting a good intel like what his kind of team starts to be. The Darmanitan clearly doesn't have U-turn, neither does the Hydra, I would think. Based on how he has been using them. Well, let's see what he does go for. This could be Specs. He does go for the Dark Pulse, let's see the damage. That to me looks to be Specs. That definitely looks to be Specs to me. So I can get up my rocks, and later on I can, on the following turn I can go into VIRIZION and punish him for that. But I'll get up my rocks now. Because that gives me the chip damage on Coco. It gives me chip on Nidoking as well. Let's see who does he go into. He goes to the Darmanitan, which I'm fine with. I'll get up my rocks and then I'll protect just to get my lefties up. And maybe I'll learn a little bit more of his moveset. But mostly I just wanna game a little bit lefties again, because this is my Dragon Resist. And since that thing is Specs, it's good for me to keep this thing as healthy as I can. So every turn I can protect, and I know that there's no big drop, like no drawback to it. Okay, he does have U-turn on it. So it's Flare Pitch, U-turn, Taunt, Toxic. I think I'll go to the Sean again. It shouldn't do too much if it's like heavy duty boots. It will do some damage, but thankfully the Nidoking is not Life Orb, so... Okay, he does go for the Flare Pitch now, which means that I get some damage off on it. This is where I kinda expect the U-turn to come out. So part of me just wants to go into Landorus here. Because I don't want this thing to be chipped too much. I think I'll do that. I don't want him to U-turn this Slowbro and chip it down further. So I get the Intimidate off, and the U-turn shouldn't do too much to me. I don't think he Flare Pitches, like that shouldn't be his move to click. He does Flare Pitch straight out. That's crazy play from him. Okay. That was a crazy play by him. Thankfully he doesn't have Stealth Rocks other than on Nidoking, but that was a crazy play by him. Yeah, that was a crazy play by him. I think I'll just U-turn. He should be at -1 now, so I can pivot around this. Okay, I gained the momentum that I needed. Rainbow, that's the Milotic. And now I can go straight into my VIRIZION and punish him from this. But now I have to be really careful with that Lando. And if he does have stealth rocks on that Nidoking, that's gonna be rough for me. He's leftovers on this. I'm gonna Sword Dance here, I think. Let's see what he does. If he goes into Darmanitan, I already know I outpace it, so I kill it on a following turn anyways. He will withdraw. Beyblade, let's see if he'll intimidate or not. Okay, he's not intimidate. I wonder if I kill it from here. Because if I don't, I have to actually swap out. I expect this to be max HP. At +2 I should be able to kill you. So let's go for the close combat. I should be able to take care of you here. Yep, there we go. We get to kill the Hitmontop. But the offense still remains barring the Milotic, so it's gonna be still scary because of the Landorus Therian being there. That I should have maybe just gone into the Drapion now thinking about it, but I still have good amount of health remaining on my other things, so maybe I just have to withstand his attacks. There comes the Tapu Koko, which is pretty much forced to Dashing Gleam, I will think. And he's heavy duty boots on it. So here's the thing, I could be able to actually live this hit if I wanted to, just to be able to take this thing out. Because I'm at -1 defense, but I don't know if he has Brave Bird or not, that's the thing. So I think I would have to scout that. I'll go into my Vikavolt on this. Because then I can Mud Shot afterwards. But now versus the Darmanitan, I probably would have to use something like Drapion to sack that thing to force it to take the ulti recall. But if I don't see Brave Bird this time around, I know that, okay, he does withdraw. Clutch. Which is the Nidoking. He's choice card with this thing. He wanted me to drop my... I'm not really sure what he did there for. I'll Mud Shot this just in case. If he has rocks, I have to punish him for that. If it's Sugar Berry, I'll take care of that. He does go for the Sludge Wave. We'll take it. And he's the Sugar Berry. That's what I thought it would be. And now I think I'm better off just going to my Slowbro. I still can live the hit from Koko, so I can roost on that thing, but that's good that I got rid of that Sugar Berry if my Landorus Therian can just stay in and do its thing. Now, what do I go for here? I could go for the Psychic. I could go for a Scald. I'll go for the Psychic. Off the chance Milotic comes in, so I can hit it a little bit harder and I don't accidentally burn it and activate Flame Ball. Yeah, there comes the Milotic. And I get a little bit of chip on him. But now that tells me that the Koko doesn't have Brave Bird, so VIRIZION at full health can actually beat his offense at this point. It can beat his offense. He should be going for the water move, I think. So part of me just wants to go into this, but I don't want this to be weakened necessarily. I think I could Future Sight first, just to see what he does. I'll get up a Future Sight, just to see if he has Flip Turn or not. He does have Flip Turn. So I get up my Future Sight, so it's gonna be up in the air and kinda keep the Nidoking in bay. If he goes into the Hydreigon, I don't mind it too much. And he might feel a little bit risky about even doing that play. If the Darmanitan shows up, I know at this point my sack is gonna be Drapion to it, so I get my VIRIZION in for free. He does go into the Hydra, okay. But he's gonna be taking the Stealth Rocks for me. I'll set up the Future Sight. And we are gonna get our Sean away from here. The only thing I worry about him doubling would be into the Darmanitan, but I already know I would sack something like Drapion to let him take all that recall. But I think that means that he stayed in, so let's see what he goes for. Earth Power, okay, he had that for hitting me. But I can avoid a 2-hit KO. I can avoid a 2-hit KO from that thing. So now I feel confident going to my Vikavolt on this. Because I should be gaining a lot of momentum out of that. If he's choiced. And he stayed in. I really think that specs. I haven't done cogs, but based on that damage, it really feels like to me that it specs. It won't affect the Hydra, but here I can go for the Roost to get my health back. Pretty much. Or I could punish the Darmanitan swap here. I think I wanna punish the Darmanitan slash Nidoking and Mudshot. I really think he's choiced. He does withdraw. Clutch switches the Nidoking. Hopefully with the Stealth Rocks, I'll take him out from here. And we do take care of the Nidoking. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. I expect the Darmanitan now come in, and that's gonna be his turn to claim a kill. Yep. He's Life Orb on it. Okay. So he will get one big hit out of this. I could also sack my Slowbro now looking at it. Because it doesn't really beat the other guys anymore. I could do that, to be honest. Let me check one more time. It doesn't beat Hydra, it doesn't beat Coco. It doesn't beat Milotic, so I think I would be better off just sacking Slowbro here. Like Slowbro or Drapion was the sack, but now seeing at it, I don't need the Slowbro anymore for the Nidoking. So I can let him have this. You can take that recall and Sean away from me. I'm sorry Sean, but this is basically what I needed you for. And I'll just body press, it shouldn't matter. He's gonna claim me here. He goes for the taunt. I guess he never thought I would be Assault Vest. But that's good for me. I get to kill the Darmanitan. I guess that he banks on the Toxic should kill me, which is fair. This is the second round of Toxic, so yeah. It will claim us down. So he has Hydra, Coco, and Milotic left. Hydra, Coco, and Milotic. I kinda wanna go into this. But I could go into also my Drapion that No, I think I'll go into Vikavolt. I'm thinking he's gonna go into the either Coco or the Milotic. There we go. I got this one right. So this gives me a Roost. I can go for the Roost or Volt Switch. So I wanna Roost because this thing is still useful for Coco. So I Roost up and then Volt Switch into my VIRIZION. Like VIRIZION is looking really nice for the late game now, because I know the Hydra is choiced. All I need is a little bit of chip on Coco, and that's why I kinda wanna keep this thing around. Because this is one of my better ways to get some damage. I still have Drapion, which like I've been saying is gonna be in a sack, but now it's looking actually pretty nice to be able to gain some chip damage. He hard withdraws. Into Hydra. Okay. Very aggressive play, but I understand he doesn't want this thing to go down. He needs the Milotic still. But now I have fully healthy Vikavolt, which, well, basically fully healthy. And now I'll just go into Resistil. And I'm not too worried about any kind of double he would be making. And if he kills my Resistil, I'm fine with it. Draco Meteor. Which is fine, because I had more Dark Resist on the back. They might not even kill me at this point, which is funny. And Seismic Toss might be able to pick up the Milotic at this point if he tries to swap in, funnily enough. And I can do big damage to this. And I get some damage on Coco. I think I'll want to do that. I don't want to Marvel Scale boost the Milotic, so Seismic Toss is my better play now. I don't bother clicking Protect if he preserves this still, because he can come in on rocks. And this thing might die to... This should die to Seismic Toss, that's like 20%. So Resistil should be able to take this thing, right? Yep, we can. And now I get any kind of chip on the Coco with this thing, basically. Maybe not, the Thunderbolt might kill me. But honestly, I can swap into my Vikavolt at that point. Hydra can pick me up with anything barring a Draco Meteor, I think. Well, he can still Draco, I guess, and that still picks me off, but I don't think he wants to click that necessary. I guess he's not worried about, like, can Coco kill me or not. But this is looking pretty nice for us for now. The only scary scenario was that the Darmanitan, that it was able to do so much work. But he does go into the Coco. And I'm pretty sure I can go into hard into my Vikavolt on this. And I can preserve this as a sack for later on. Or preserve Differential as well. I'm thinking Differential as well, because my Differential isn't the greatest yet. And I think I can afford to make this play. Calm Mind. I do have Choice Scav Landers to check this thing. So I should be still in a fine shape. I'll Mud Shot this. He would have to be Iron Defense or something like that to be able to beat the Landers that I have in the back. He Calm Minds again. And I'm lowering its speed, so even Drapion will beat this. We go for the Mud Shot. We lower its speed. Let's see if you're like weakness policy or not. You're not. Okay. So what I could do here is that I'll Volt Switch out. Because this Coco should be like... How slow is Coco at -1? 133. My Trapian outspeed this, so I can go for a Volt Switch. He does go for the Dazzling Gleam, which will do a decent chunk. And I can Volt Switch myself out of here. And now I go into my Trapia, which I've been saying that it's been kind of like a sack, but now it's actually looking to be the one that can get a one more kill here. And now I can go for the Cross Poison. And that speed drop is pretty clutch right now, because now I was able to afford to play that way and eliminate this thing, or if he preserved this thing for some reason, goes into Hydra. I don't think he can do that play. But he has been I will give IrishEmerald a credit for bringing a different kind of team that he has been bringing in the first 2 weeks. Like in the first 2 weeks he has been bringing like a very similar kind of concept of a team. So swapping few things and here and there, but this is definitely different what he used to be doing. We do get the critical hit, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. And if Coco comes in on me, does he even kill me at like... He doesn't even kill me outright with this. So I'm pretty sure this thing will just kill this thing right here. And we clean out the game with a mod that I thought would be the most expendable. And he does go for the Thunderbolt. We'll take it. And Scorponok is able to finish it off. And there we go. Your Helsinki Hydreigons are able to move on to the week 4 with a nice... I'm not sure if is that a 5-4 or 4-0 win? 5-4 win. Very solid 5-4 win. It was a closer than like a really mollywop 5-0, because I had a couple of months as a sack at that point. But great game to IrishEmerald, and for our sake as well. This kind of, I guess, proof for him, like with his like being really outbursting and really vocal about like, yeah, I'm gonna be beating you, nobody is gonna be stopping my return, which I'll give a credit. I do vote for his confidence, and he's not here to like just bow down to people, but like this just showcases to him that this is why I am the back-to-back UBL champion. And I expect next time around, if we get to play in playoffs, it's gonna be a closer game, and I'm sure he's gonna be learning a lot. He's still kind of, this is his only third like official draft league game since he returned. So there might be some rustiness here and there for him, giving benefit of doubt for him for his showcase from this week. Make sure to check his side out though. I really like the effort that he puts into his editing. Like, he's not come around just to be coming around again to play mods. He puts a lot of effort into his videos, so I'm sure you would be enjoying it, especially if you enjoy a little bit more like vulturous and more like a vocally Irish accent person. Like, that's basically IrishEmerald when it comes to his draft league content. So make sure to check his side out, and until week 4 when we go up against Ultra Prayer, which I have a little bit of redemption things to do, because I've been losing him twice in a row now in draft league, so I need to bounce back versus him for sure next week. So until then, thank you for watching. I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.